Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's live session. Once again, I am Jean Ingson, founder of Quiet Marketing, a marketing mentor and coach. I'm a graduate of business administration and marketing management at the University of Baguio. Currently, I am the Chief Operations Officer at Blink Technologies Corporation, an IT company here in Baguio City. We develop software products, websites, and also provide remote internships for IT students. And on top of that, I'm a mom of three. I've been doing marketing webinar for 2 years now for our company, and I've also been invited as a resource speaker for the School of Business Administration and Accountancy at my alma mater. And just this year, I decided to take this on another level and provide webinars for students and also aspiring marketers. This is your unconventional webinar. No fluff marketing, no long intros, no blah blah blah. Just straight to the point marketing insights that saves you time and energy because we know that your time is valuable. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our topic personal branding. Today is April 19, 2025. It's a Saturday, and we're talking about one thing that's non negotiable if you want to stand out, your personal brand. And no, it's not your logo, it's not an aesthetic Instagram feed or a fancy tagline. A strong personal brand is built on you, your story, your voice, and your values. And so today we're not going to talk about your logo or your color palette or what aesthetic your feed should follow. Those are secondaries. What we're going to do today is to break down the personal branding framework. And when we say personal branding, it isn't about how you look, it's what you stand for. Because in a world where everyone's building resumes, the real flex is building your reputation. And today we're going to talk about what is personal branding and how to market yourself for career success. This session isn't about designing your brand, it's about defining it. So by the end of this webinar, you won't just sound good on paper, you'll feel clear in your core and know exactly how to show up in a way that gets remembered. Okay, so let's start at the core. Who are you? This sounds simple, but it's the hardest actually to define. It's not your job title, it's not your course, not your LinkedIn profile, not your LinkedIn headline. It's you without the labels. So ask yourself, what do I stand for when no one is watching? How do people describe me when I'm not in the room? Until you can answer this clearly, your personal brand will always feel shaky. And knowing yourself should trigger clarity and not confusion. Okay, so the best example I can give you is based on my experience. um how how do I know who am I? How do I know what I stand for? What are my values? What are my unique strengths? So for years I thought that my talent was just playing the piano. I was known as the daughter of the redneck band bassist. My father's band actually is a famous band here in Baguio, and I was known as the daughter of the bassist of the redneck band. And I am one of the first young female keyboardist here in Baguio. And a lot of bands were actually wanting me to be a part of their band, but it wasn't really what I wanted. It's more of just a hobby for me. I don't see it as uh professional work. So it's more of a, just a hobby for me. It's not where my heart is actually is. And I always thought that's all I could do. But who am I if I wasn't all of that? And then I became a mom. And so in 2011, I learned how to do online selling through my fashion diary. And my passion for fashion coupled with entrepreneurship, it introduced me to the business industry, particularly in marketing. And I've met a lot of online friends, some of were my online buyers, online moms too. And I've taught some people how to do online selling as well and teach my strategies. And little did I know that it was the beginning of me discovering my skills. And it wasn't merely about selling, but it's more about the overall marketing strategy and the execution behind um how I showcase my product. So it's not just, oh, I sold today, I have money to spend tomorrow. So it was more of a goal that turned into a dream, and it reflected in all of my endeavors during the years. Later on, I was also invited as a mall exhibitor, and with that, I was able to go back to school with the course that aligned with what I am into and what I'm interested. So it paved the way for my college funding. But with the boom of online selling and the e-commerce giants like Shopee, we have TikTok now, we also have Shein, Lazada, and all of those e-commerce that are emerging in our generation, the market has been saturated. It's hard to compete with these giants. So after graduation, I've been contemplating on what else to do. But that is not online selling related. So, of course, I'm not yet closing my doors for online selling as if it it was my first love. So it fueled actually my love for marketing, but it's just not my goal for now. But I want to evolve and grow from what I already know to what I can still become. And I need to do something that is different, but something that is also authentic about me. And so I use my skills as a public speaker. I would doubt myself every time, but I still do it anyway. And now I am here. Some people would not even care to listen to me and just think I'm a yapper. My kids call me a yapper. Mama, you're such a yapper. Especially when I practice my work and do my scripts and notes. Some people won't listen to you if you do not align with them. So that what it's meant by who you are when you strip all the labels. In that process, I found my ikigai, which we talked about last time. I am both strategic and grounded. I don't just tell people what to do, I teach them how to think. And I see marketing not just a trend, but as a tool for real growth, especially for students and dreamers who are underestimated. So you need to choose your people by choosing your niche and people who needs the value you bring. That's the first step, which brings us next to our topic, your field of focus. So before we even go to your niche or your field of focus, let's summarize. What are the 5 grounded steps to know who you are? Is you audit your story, go back to the defining moments of what shaped you, what values came out of those experiences, what patterns do you see, things that you always return to no matter the seasons. So your past, it holds the receipts of who you have always been. And second is to notice what you're drawn to. What content do you consume without being told to? What topics make you want to teach Impart, fix, build, or question? What kinds of people do you follow or do you admire and why? So that will answer the question who you are. Okay. And next we go to our next topic, which is your field of focus. Okay. So when we say your field of focus, what space are you claiming? If you're trying to be everything, people will remember you for nothing. That's why it's important. You always hear that, you always hear this um in videos, tutorial videos, content creator videos. They always tell you to choose your niche first because if you're trying to be everything, again, people will remember you for nothing, and your personal brand should tell us this is the problem I solve, this is the world I move in. And if you're a multi passionate, you need a clear focus that people can associate you with. So be known for the one thing first, and then you can expand later. So when we say niche, for example, in content creation, your niche could be something related to beauty. And to be more specific, it could be about makeup. So that will be your specific niche, makeup tutorials. And you know what? What happens if you don't have a niche, especially in content creation? Number one is you confuse people because one day you're posting beauty tips, the next day it's finance, and then a travel vlog. People don't know what to expect or why they should even follow you. And the result would they will just scroll past or forget you. That's why sometimes nagtataka ka why you have a lot of likes the first day and then the next day your engagement just dropped. Okay? So this is one of the reason because people are confused if they would even follow you for the value that you bring. And second is that you attract the wrong audience if you don't have a niche. Without a niche, your followers might be just random people. They won't engage, and worse, they won't even care. And for example, if you gain followers from a viral meme, when you post about your actual offer, wala na sila. Because um they're confused, okay? They are confused and you attract the wrong audience. And thirdly is that you struggle with content ideas if you don't establish your niche. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll constantly feel burned out trying to think of what to post next. Okay? So the real talk here is a niche gives you a direction. So you're not reinventing the wheel every time. Okay? So fourth is if there would be brands that would even care with what you do. They don't know what to hire you for. If you have no niche, you have no clarity, no value to a specific audience, and brands want specialists, not generalists who do a little of everything. And if, for example, if you're a content creator known for skincare tutorials for Morena skin, brands see exactly how you can help them. So it's important that you choose a niche first, your field of focus, and when you don't choose a niche, you choose to be forgettable. Okay? So next we move on to your life history. So your past isn't baggage. Okay? Some people nahihiya silang aminin kung saan sila nag-start from scratch. But if you see a lot of content nowadays, a lot of people resonates with the before and after. So you need to be as real you can be. You need to be as real as you can get. And your past isn't baggage, it's your branding material. What you have gone through that shaped your work ethic. What are your turning points that led you here? People relate more to your scars than your achievements. So it's okay if you share the messy beginnings, the pivots, the doubts. That's what makes us you human and memorable. So your story sells more than your skills. How do we actually identify or know what is actually our story? Mom, I'm still young. I don't have that much experience. The first thing to share your life story is to map your milestone. So you create a timeline of your life's biggest turning points. It could either be wins, it could either be losses, it could also be heartbreaks, pivots, and breakthroughs. Whatever story you have, create a compelling story out of it that people will resonate with what you have to share. Okay? Ask, when did something big change in my life? When did I realize that I don't want something? When did I feel most proud or most broken but came back stronger? So these are your brand defining moments. They tell people what you've been through and why your voice matters. And a bonus tip is that your life history doesn't define your worth, but it does explain your why, and your why is your loudest brand signal. So, are you seeing now a little bit of clarity in the personal branding framework? Again, it's not about your logo, it's about who you are, your field of focus, and your life history. So, what do we have next? Next is your personal qualities. This is the vibe you bring into rooms. Are you calm or are you strategic? Are you loud or are you energetic? Are you empathetic and warm? People follow brands not just because of what you say, but how you make them feel. So it's important to define your signature energy, and your tone is going to be your brand's fingerprint. So how do you do that? Okay, so you first is to identify your core traits. Sino ka nga ba? Start asking yourself or even your closest friends kung nalilito ka pa. What are your core traits? What's the first ask your friends what are their first impression of you? And what do you usually leave on people after after you go? So how do you feel after you ask them, how do you feel after talking to me? What do others often thank me for? The first thing you need to do on how to know your personal traits is to pick three core traits that are consistently you. It could be either are you straightforward person? Are you nurturing? Are you calm? Are you witty? Are you empowering? Are you magnetic? That will define your brand later on when you create your visuals. Okay? So you need to identify all of these things first before even thinking of doing your logo or whatever visuals you're thinking. And next, we move on to your values. Okay. So if your brand doesn't have values, it's just decoration. Okay. So you need to ask yourself, what do I fight for? What do I refuse to compromise on? So values drives decisions, and decisions build consistency. So if you believe in accessibility, you believe in innovation, you believe in honesty, show it through your work. Your values are what people trust when they're not sure who to trust. So why does your values matter? People don't just follow brands. We all know that, right? They follow what the brand stands for. And number one is values guide your decisions. It shapes your reputation and it attracts aligned opportunities and repel the wrong ones. And when you're still building your brand, your values do the heavy lifting of building trust. All right. So I hope we're clear with your values and creating your personal brand. And lastly, we move on to what are the unique things about you? What makes you stand out? This is where you flex. This is your X factor, your blend, your mix of skills, perks, and worldview that no one else has. So you don't need to be better than others. You just need to be different in a way that matters. So your difference is your brand superpower. But how do you actually figure out what that difference is? So number one is you list your layers. Ask yourself, what are the 3 to 5 skills I'm confident in? What topics do I naturally love talking or learning about? What are some non-work things that are a big part of me? So example, if you're a marketing strategist, you're also a social media manager, plus you're a branding consultant, but you're also a fur mom, or you're also a plant grower, and also a speaker, that mix is equals you. Nobody has your exact blend. And that's what makes you unique. It's the combo, not just one thing. Okay? Another thing is ask yourself what feels easy to me but hard for others. So this is your natural genius zone. The stuff you might downplay because it's so effortless. Examples could be you can break down complex ideas into visuals, and you have the gift for clarity. You can sense what others are feeling. You have emotional intelligence. You can turn chaos into organized, beautiful slides. You have creative structure. This is where your magic often hides. Okay? And another thing is to gather. It's important that you gather external feedback from others. So you ask people who work with you or know you well, when you think of me, what's something I do that stands out from others? So look for recurring themes. For example, you your friend might say you always see things from a fresh angle. So that's unique perspective. And the other one could say that, oh, you simplify everything. So communication is your superpower. Or someone would say, you always bring calm presence. So that's an emotional tone is your strength. So your uniqueness doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be true. So those are the things you need to remember in knowing what is a personal brand and what are the things that comprise of a personal brand? How do you identify it? Who you are, your field of focus, your life history, your personal qualities, your values, and the unique things about you. Now, how do you actually market yourself after you're done with identifying your personal branding? So these are the actionable steps to market yourself for your career success is we simplify things so that you don't feel overwhelmed. First thing is you create your digital home base. So what does that mean? You need a strong online presence. So yung pagkakaroon natin ng mga social media channels are actually a good thing to leverage what we already have. So as early as now, you need to establish your personal brand through creating a digital home base through your social media channels, your strong online space where your personal brand is clear and consistent. So, an example could be a professional LinkedIn profile with a powerful headline and about section that reflects your brand. So, what I could give you in terms of creating a powerful headline is this will not be in terms of who you are, this is you without the labels, okay? Because in your LinkedIn profile, you have there your education, your specialization, you have fields for that. But with your headline, it should be something more compelling, something about you without all of the labels. Okay. So to give you an example is for your headline, you can come up with I turn complex ideas into clear, compelling stories people want to share. So just a one-liner headline. It's great for content creators, for social media managers, or communication roles. Another example could be I ask questions that challenge the norm and build solutions people actually need. So these are for maybe problem solvers, product thinkers, if you're entrepreneurs in the making. So another example of a good headline could be driven by data, powered by curiosity, I find what works and scale it. So those are perfect for those who are interested in analytics, growth, or marketing operations. So another thing in creating your digital home base is to a simple portfolio website or a digital resume. Okay, could also a public Instagram, maybe a Facebook or TikTok account tailored to your niche if it's relevant to your field. And the goal here is that if someone Googles your name, they see what you want them to see. Okay. So I hope we're clear with that. Next, we move on to build value driven content. So what does this mean? So it means that you show your expertise before anyone asks for your resume. But how do I actually do that? So it could be either sharing tips, insights, or the behind the scenes on your journey through reels, through carousels, or text posts. Those are great form of content that showcases your expertise. Okay, and talk about your learnings, just not just your wins. Use content to tell people what you care about and how you think. Okay? And the simple rule for this is if you keep giving value, your name becomes a magnet. Okay? And next we have be where the opportunities are. So your brand needs a stage. So you put yourself where decision makers hang out. And you could do this by joining Facebook groups, Facebook communities, LinkedIn groups relevant to your field, your interest, the things that you like, the things that you consume, what are you drawn to. So attending webinars or volunteering for panels or online or um, other forms of events that you see where you will be aligned and fit. Okay, so could be also engaging, commenting with insights on relevant content in your industry. And the tip here is your consistency in showing up will make you really memorable. All right. So what is personal branding? It's not your logo, not your color palette. It's not it's the clarity of who you are when no one is watching and the courage to market that. And the reason most people struggle with their brand identity is they jump straight to visuals without doing the inner work. They design a logo before they define a purpose. So this is where you need to start first, the personal branding framework, because branding isn't about looking good. It's about being understood. And until you're clear on who you are, your brand will always feel like a costume. So you do the work, get clear, because your name deserves to trigger clarity and not confusion. Okay. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, especially everyone active in the live chat. You guys make this way more fun. If you learned something, please do drop a comment before you head out. And if you're watching the replay, yes, we see you too. Till next time, take care, stay curious, and keep showing for yourself. Bye for now, and I'll see you on the next one.